What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and cancel culture in a way has struck again. Now, I know many of my viewers are into wrestling, um, and wrestling is a huge fandom. So late last night, many of you reached out to me asking me to cover a story of Hana Kimura. I think I'm saying that right. A Japanese wrestler who was on a television show, and an incident happened on that show which led to essentially waves and waves and waves of haters. Now, I wasn't familiar with Terrace House. I don't know if she's playing a heel on that show, or if it was a genuine kind of emotional incident. But essentially, what it looks like is this, according to Salt of the Earth. Sad story from what I've read on Twitter. She was on Terrace House, which is a Japanese reality TV show with strangers living together like the real world for US people. She put her wrestling gear from WK14 from the first women's match ever on a WK show in the washer, and a male on the show put his clothes in the washer after it was done. Instead of taking it out, he then dried her gear with his clothes, which ruined it. She was naturally mad about it, confronted him on the show still, and slapped him because he didn't seem to care. However, some of the show's fans took the male's side and bullied her until she took her own life. What a sad world we live in. Now, I think this is before I get into the rest of the story, a good time to remind my viewers that when I say don't contact somebody, I mean it. I'm not saying it ironically. I genuinely mean it. Covering situations where people are maybe acting out of pocket or a little weird, that's something that I'm always going to do. That's just news. That's entertainment. You can't not cover something because maybe, just maybe, something bad will happen. But I think what you've got to do is you've got to always remind your viewers, or if you're a writer, your readers, or a podcast, your listeners, or whatever the case may be, you've got to remind them that, please don't take part in kind of brigading these people. Please don't take part in piling on, because you never really know where somebody's at. We saw this last year with Zoe Quinn, Alec Hawaka, an online mob essentially, went after him until such a point where he had no career and he had no other choice in his mind than to, go the self-deletion route. It's tough. I cover some people who may or may not, I have no idea what, let's say, the Deer Lady from the Twitch Trust and Safety Council, I have no idea what kind of personal issues they're dealing with. That doesn't mean I'm not going to cover it, because then that would mean literally you couldn't cover anything ever. But what you can do is try to encourage your viewers to keep it here. I know that even though I didn't watch this show and I didn't know about Hana, there will be viewers in my comment section that do and did and are sad today. And hopefully, you can find other people who, you guys can, you all can talk it out in the comment section, and you can, find new fans, friends that are also into wrestling, and try to make this a positive. Japan absolutely has a problem with this overall, and we don't know what else may have contributed to it. It's not any one person's fault. In this case, I just think it's the nature of online. It's just really easy to get at somebody. I'd be lying if I didn't say, look, over the last, let's see, 4 or 5 days, I've covered a lot of people with very strong fandoms. And similarly, there's also several people basically obsessing over challenging me to debates, retweeting me, making memes of me, and basically ruining my mentions. I don't check Twitter as often right now until these idiots cool down. Now, I know how to handle it. It's not ruining. It's not weighing on me in any way. But some people can't. For me, it's like, oh, I'll check Twitter a little less often until these clowns move on. But some people who are already in a fragile state, they can't. And, this article here on Forbes outlines Stardom wrestler Hana Kimura passes at 22 amid exactly what I'm saying. A deeply tragic week in pro wrestling managed to end on a chilling note as Stardom wrestler Hana Kimura, I think that's how you say it, has reportedly passed at 22. Her life appeared to be in trouble after the budding star sent out a series of troubling tweets with cuts on herself, and she had been the subject of hundreds of mean tweets from fans and critics on a daily basis. She posted her apparent final note on Twitter that translated to the following: nearly 100 frank opinions a day. I couldn't deny that I was hurt. I'm dead. Thank you for giving me a mother. It was the life I wanted to be loved. Thank you, everyone who supported me. I love it. I'm weak. I'm sorry. I don't want to be human anymore. It was a life I wanted to be loved. Thank you, everyone. I love you. Bye. Obviously, it's a rough translation. Probably meant more in Japanese, but then Stardom confirmed, obviously, then saying, we deeply regret to tell you. The winner of Stardom's 2019 Fighting Spirit Award and ranked just outside the top 50 in 2018's PW1 Female 100, Kimura was a budding star internationally in a week where fans endured the passings of Shea Gaspard, Larry Sanka, and the grim account of Owen Hart's passing on the dark side of the ring. Fans are now mourning another passing of a beloved wrestler. Her passing will bring about much-needed discussion of social media behavior among some of the most rabid internet wrestling community, which is among the most toxic fan base. I don't know. I don't follow those tweets very often. I mean, apparently there's an issue there. Not to mention ecosystems in any corner of sports entertainment that on set of Wednesday night, battles have brought on a whole new wave of toxicity amid constant squabbling between WWE and AEW brand loyalists. The amount of social media filth was enough to force the Young Bucks off Twitter. Her life, however, meant so much more than a token message about this and will sadly be lost in the 24-hour news cycle. That makes it doubly saddening, as such a seemingly trivial opinions can carry so much weight with anybody, regardless of stature. Fans and wrestlers worldwide have posted tributes eulogizing the popular star. And this was written by Alfred Kanua over at Forbes. You had some people in major wrestling come out here. Simone, Dwayne Johnson's daughter. I think if you partook in any of this, don't you ever call yourself a wrestling fan. Rest in peace. It's unclear whether the backlash took a toll on Kimura was from wrestling fans, Terrace House fans, or both. Regardless, many in the wrestling community seconded Johnson's tweet, including fellow WWE superstar Paige, quoting her message and adding that her passing was heartbreaking. She also lamented that the internet can be a cruel and disgusting place and described the late 22-year-old as a beautiful young woman. I think I wanted to cover this mostly as just a great time to remind my viewers that while I will continue to cover the news regardless, because that's what I do, I will continue, and this is a good time to remind everyone that when I say I don't want people piling on somebody, I really mean it. And this has also reminded me even about quote tweeting people on Twitter. I've been getting a lot of just really vile comments lately, stemming from a few select people, and and I engage too often by quote tweeting them and then throwing them to the wolves. I think that that's going to be something I'm going to start rethinking a little bit. People that really say vile things online are often just terrible people who really, really don't like themselves. I think I feed into that too often. But, and so even though I didn't watch wrestling, this was a very important time to take stock and remind myself about this stuff, and also remind my viewers that while you're your own humans and you're going to do what you want to do anyway, know that I would hope that you don't pile on anybody, and that I'm going to do my part and be more careful about quote tweeting people and sending them off to the wolves and things like that, because none of this stupid internet squabbling is that important. And a lot of fans and a lot of family members and friends lost somebody today because of the internet, in fact, being a cruel and wild place sometimes. So, you know, positive vibes today to you and to wrestling fans and to just everyone out there. And we'll talk to you again real soon.